In today's video, we're going to be talking about the best places to live around Mountain Home Air Force Base. As someone that was also stationed at Mountain Home for 6 years, we're going to be giving you guys all the local insights, and we're going to make sure that you guys know exactly what area is going to be best fitting for you and your situation. So we're going to be talking about Mountain Home. We're going to be talking about base housing. We're going to be talking about Boise and the surrounding cities of Boise. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Let's dive into the content. Guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you're new here, make sure you guys press the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Leave a like, comment what base you're watching from or what area you're relocating from. We would love to know where you guys are coming in and tuning in from. And also make sure you guys press the bell at the top of the screen, because just like this video, we're going to be dropping many more to help you guys make a smooth transition to the beautiful state of Idaho. If you guys didn't catch on, I am a prior Air Force veteran. So after 6 long years of up and down battles of being in the United States Air Force, as I'm sure most of you guys know, because you're probably watching this video due to the fact that you are relocating or PCSing to Mountain Home Air Force Base, or maybe you're just in general about Mountain Home itself, this is still going to be a great video for you. And as much as I love making these videos for you guys, I also would absolutely love to help you with your real estate needs. So what you're going to see is my personal cell phone number and my email. Call me, text me, or email me any time of day. I am a resource for you guys. I am a tool for you guys. I am here to help you guys as someone that's not just a real estate agent, but someone that's a veteran and knows how stressful the PCS process can be. I absolutely love helping more of our brothers and sisters in arms. So reach out to me. Now let's talk about the video. So when it comes to talking about Mountain Home Air Force Base and the areas around it, a lot of people, if you were just anything like me, didn't even know where the hell Idaho was. You didn't even know Idaho was probably a state, or if you did know what Idaho was, then you knew that it was just a state of potatoes, right? So yes, funny enough, we actually do have a lot of potatoes, but interesting enough, potatoes are actually not the most produced crop in the state of Idaho, but we're not going to get into that because we're not farmers, we're military members, or someone that is relocated to Mountain Home. I don't want to leave you guys out. So talking about this, right, as far as people that are relocated to Mountain Home and PCS to Mountain Home, so what is there to expect about Mountain Home Air Force Base? Where is it in location? What does it offer? What is there to do? Where should you live? All the questions you probably have. I had the same questions, so let's talk about every scenario. So as far as Mountain Home Air Force Base in comparison to Boise, which is about a 55-minute drive, sometimes an hour, it really just depends on road conditions, man. Sometimes even during the winter, if you guys didn't know, Idaho does have 4-season weather. So for those of you that are maybe unfamiliar with what it looks like to drive in the snow or the ice, you're in for a surprise. I probably recommend you go real slow and maybe not even leave your house for a little bit until you get really used to the fact that there is snow outside and there is snow and there is things like that on the ice. Basically, what I would recommend for you guys that are not familiar with that is to take your time and learn how to drive in the snow. Don't just go out there and press the gas. Can't do that. There's a lot of things that go into it. But going back to the location, Mountain Home Air Force Base, it's a little bit out of the way from Boise, and then it's even closer to the city of Mountain Home. Mountain Home itself from the base is about, man, probably no more than 15 minutes, if even that. But Mountain Home is kind of its own place, right? Mountain Home Air Force Base is isolated from everything. It's just in its own little zone. There's not a lot of things around it. You do have, you know, the small towns that surround it, but as far as like a 10-mile radius, there's really not a much that is around the base itself. I'm sure they're going to grow it in the future, and I'm sure they're going to bring more things, especially as you know, a lot of people like to sell things to the military members and things of that nature, but that's just the sad truth, and there are probably going to be a lot of growth plans towards Mountain Home. However, with Mountain Home Air Force Base being as isolated as it is, so out of the way, a lot of people actually also love that. It's a love-hate relationship. If you're someone that's more city vibes or like to get out and socialize like me, then you probably hate a Mountain Home a little bit, or maybe just wish it was closer to maybe the city of Boise, right? We always joke around and say, God, I just wish Mountain Home Air Force Base would switch places with Boise Airport, and just that way we could just go into Boise and have a good time and go get food outside of McDonald's or Taco Bell's or Popeyes and Pizza Hut and all those spots that everyone absolutely loves to go to because they just enjoyed those bathroom visits so much right after. However, for those of you that are more intrigued as far as what Mountain Home has to offer living situation wise, let's talk a little bit about that. So as far as housing options go, there's 3 areas that people really tend to hone in on, right? One of those spots is going to be base housing. So for those of you that are, you know, brand new to the Air Force, E1, E2, E3, and not married, hey, unfortunately, you're probably wasting your time watching this video because you're going to be stuck in the dorms unless you get qualified somehow, some way to not live in the dorms due to a unique situation or whatever that is. So if you're one of those people, congratulations, keep watching this video because we're gonna help you as well. Now, if you're someone that is choosing to live on base due to the fact that you want to maybe be super close to work, maybe you enjoy the security of living on base, or maybe you're just that base Karen that likes to report everybody as far as what they're doing and just be super nosy and, you know, do all the stuff that Karens do. All jokes aside, some people really do enjoy living in base housing because they feel like there's certain layers of security, to include the gate and things. Outside of that, they also enjoy the fact that maybe they don't necessarily have to worry about a mortgage payment, or maybe they don't have to worry about utilities, or maybe they don't have to worry about driving, you know, 15-20 minutes, or even if they were to live in Boise, living an hour away and driving to work every day. So every situation is different. However, what I will say is every situation comes with its own pros and its own cons. So some of the pros to living on base is going to be close proximity to work. One of the cons of living on base is going to be that you're going to be the first one called in to go to work. Now that may be a con for some people and maybe a pro for some people. So there's a double-edged sword there. For me personally, if I'm getting called at 1 a.m. because I got to be the first one to show up to work because I live on base, I'm probably not going to be too excited about that personally. Now, if you are that guy, awesome. We love you. We need people like you in this world. Another pro is going to be that you do have enough things on base to be sufficient. So if you need to go to the grocery store, if you need to go get gas, if you need to order late night pizza, you do have that. However, the con to that is that all these places close early. And don't quote me on this, it's been a while since I've had a shop at the commissary or the BX or anything, but I believe they close at 6, maybe 7 p.m. So for those of you that do live on base and maybe you get off at 4:30, it doesn't really leave you much time to do the shopping, to do the things that you need to do, or maybe you're lucky enough to have a significant other that can do it on your behalf. But if you're meal to meal maybe, and you also have children at daycare and you have all these things that you have to make sure you take care of as soon as you wrap up from work, then you're kind of in a tough situation. So that could be a huge con for a lot of people, which is why they choose to live off base. Now, off base for Mountain Home Air Force Base is the small town of Mountain Home. Now, Mountain Home is actually where I decided to purchase my first house when I was 21. I had just gotten back from a deployment, and it was literally the best investment I ever made. Guys, I cannot stress enough. I mean, honestly, it's probably the reason why I got into real estate in the first place, is because I got to build wealth as a young 21-year-old dumb senior airman that didn't know what to do with their lives, but I just took a chance, right? And I ended up buying this house, and it was the greatest thing ever. But to digress, I'm not going to go too much into that. Mountain Home itself has a lot to offer, not to the point where it's a city, right? You have to keep in mind it's a small town, it's limited, it has enough to get you what you need. And then if you have things that you want to do as far as entertainment or things of that nature, then most people tend to go to Boise during the weekend. Now, if you want to do that during the week, awesome, hats off to you, because I'm not driving 2 hours after working an 8, 10, 12 hour shift and then trying to have a good time. I'm probably exhausted by the day, trying to go to the gym and trying to go to bed so I can wake up and do it again. And then on the weekend, I'm probably going to spend my time up there. But that's what most people do. So if you're most people, that's probably what your week looks like. You're probably taking the time to go to work, and then you come back after going to the gym or whatever, and spend time with your family, your loved ones. Or if you're just solo dolo like I was, then you're probably hopping on, you know, the PlayStation or Xbox and getting on Call of Duty and continuing to do what we do best and having a good time. So what does Mountain Home have as far as amenities? Well, you have your Mall of Mountain Home, which we joke around, which is called Walmart. So Walmart has everything you need for the most part. If you need anything specific as far as plumbing or, you know, your daily needs, groceries, things of that nature, then you definitely have Walmart. You do have Albertsons. You do have another store called Grocery Outlet, which is awesome. So you do have different options as far as shopping goes, or you can also pick up the groceries on the way home from work on base. Most people tend to go to Walmart. However, some people are bougie and like to go to Albertsons, and then some people also like the Grocery Outlet, which is also a great spot. But for most part, most people typically go to Walmart, and then they get their stuff from Albertsons as well. So those are usually the places that most people go in between. Now, outside of those grocery stores, you also have fast food restaurants and local mom and pop shops, right? So you have restaurants more like franchises like McDonald's, you have Jack in the Box, you have Wendy's, you have Arby's, and you also have Pizza Hut and Domino's. And then you also have a few Subways as well. Then on the other end, if you want something that's more mom and pop or local, then you have a spot called Wingers, you have a spot called Stoney's, you have Manhattan Cafe, you have Mi Casa, which, by the way, if you're into Mexican food or traditional, just Hispanic food, you guys will absolutely love Mi Casa. It's probably my favorite restaurant out of all the restaurants in Mountain Home. So make sure you guys check that place out. Especially maybe you want to go on a nice date, maybe you want to do something nice with your significant other. I highly, 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 highly recommend checking out Mi Casa. But outside of that, you do have some places to eat. Now, as far as entertainment goes, there's not a lot going on as far as being able to go do things like watch movies or go bowling, right? There's typically those things on base, but everyone typically goes to Boise to do things like that. So when you're looking at that, as far as entertainment or spending time with your family, if you're not someone that's like, hey, we really are outdoorsy, we'd rather go fishing, or we would rather go on a hike, or maybe go on a bike ride, you can do all those things in the city of Mountain Home. There's a lot of different areas, whether it's 15 to 30 minutes away, that you can check out. One of the most popular places a lot of people check out while at Mountain Home is going to be the sand dunes, which is just a really awesome spot. You see a lot of people take their family photos up there. Sometimes they do birthday photos, whatever it is. They just do a lot of good things up there at the sand dunes, which is awesome to check out. Then you have the winter time, where a lot of people in Mountain Home will like to go travel to Boise once again and enjoy snowboarding or skiing or doing some of those things up in the Boise area at Bogus Basin, which they also tend to usually do the wing ski day out there as well. So just a lot of different things that they tend to fluctuate around, but as far as Mountain Home itself, it's limited in that capacity. Now, as far as the housing options go in Mountain Home, if you're looking to buy a house, you have a lot of amazing neighborhoods to pick from. Now, you also have older homes, you have newer homes, so really knowing what you're looking for in Mountain Home is what I would recommend is dialing in. And based off of that, the locations of these homes are also a big part as well, right? Maybe you want to live a little closer to Boise, so you would purchase a home in the Legacy Park area, maybe even near the Desert Canyon Golf Course, right? So those are going to be some really good areas that are close to the interstate, or I-84 as we call it out here. So that way you could just hop on the road, get on the interstate, and then be on your way to Boise and be there in 45 minutes to 50 minutes, somewhere around there. Now, if you drive a little faster, you can make it faster, but we wouldn't recommend doing that because we don't like to enforce anything that is illegal. Now, maybe you're just someone that really loves new construction homes. Well, there's plenty of homes that they are getting ready to build from the CBH builders, which, if you're not familiar with CBH, it's a local builder in the state of Idaho. They do pretty well, especially if you're looking for a first-time home buyer. I will say they had a lot of complaints when they first started building homes in the area, but as they continue to build up these subdivisions, they've gotten significantly better. They are still on the lower end as far as finishes go, so you're not going to have like marble counters or anything like that. But as far as if it's your first home, or maybe you're just looking for the best bang for your buck, a lot of people really love CBH new construction homes. Now, that also goes to say that there is more new construction builders that are starting to build. For example, Hubble Homes is starting to build a new subdivision in the year of 2025. So if you're watching this right now and you're PCSing here in 2025 or even later, the nice thing about Hubble is what they do is semi-custom homes. What that means is you're able to pick a lot, or maybe even pick a floor design as far as what the home looks like, or floor plans, and then from there you're able to go to a design studio where you can pick out the color of the floorings, the color of the cabinets, the type of counters you put in. Do you want extra windows in the house? So you can really make it customized. The only thing you can't really decide on is the floor plan. You can pick the floor plan, but it's already pre-made with them, if that makes sense. So you do have that option coming up to you very soon, which is something a lot of people are super excited about, because I know most people hate that with CBH you have to pick the one that they give you, right? They get to decide the color of the cabinets, the color of the counters, all those things, but Hubble gives you the opportunity to really dial in and see what you want in your home. So awesome. Coming as far as pre-owned homes, however, you have all types of homes, from homes built in the 1800s and early 1900s to homes that are brand new, as we've discussed lately. So what is the current value of the market? Well, the median price point right now in Mountain Home is going to be $375,000, which, for those of you that are coming maybe from Washington or Denver or wherever you guys are currently stationed at, then maybe you feel really relieved because you're like, wow, these house prices are significantly better. Whereas people that are probably stationed somewhere closer to Tennessee or Georgia are coming to Mountain Home and are thinking, wow, what the hell, it is expensive out here. So really depends on where you're coming from. However, I will say just a couple months ago, not too long ago, the median price point in homes for Mountain Home was actually at $410,000 I think even it got up to 415, 420. So we have seen the dip. It is a quarter four dip. And what I mean by a quarter four dip is most people slow down as far as the buying side of things due to Thanksgiving, due to a slowdown in PCSs, due to Christmas, and all those different things that people have to plan for. So as far as if you're a buyer right now, well, it's a great time because sellers are going to be a lot more negotiable. They're going to be willing to pay closing costs. They're not going to make you pay your agent fees. They're not going to make you do a lot of things. So, however, all those things are negotiable. If you're going to negotiate, it's always the best time to do it in the fourth quarter. Now, I will say on top of that, as far as the houses available, there are just so many different types. So what I would like to do is, outside of talking about, oh, is this HOA or no HOA, we're just going to show you some of the most popular subdivisions through video, which is going to be the Silverstone subdivision, Legacy Park. A lot of homes around that area are super popular. And then also the Morning View subdivision, where they're building CBH homes, as well as so much more. So let's go ahead and check out some of the homes around Mountain Home. All right, guys, so like I said, a lot of different options. Some of the styles look very similar. Some of the neighborhoods are unique. Some of the neighborhoods look very cookie cutter. It just really depends on what you're looking for. And we always recommend, if you're interested in buying a home, to hop on a Zoom call with us, so that way we can make sure that we come up with a great strategy plan as far as what you're looking for, what are the deal breakers, what are the wants and needs, and then from there we can tell you pretty much what areas you're probably going to lean most towards. So coming back to that, now let's talk about living in Boise. For those of you that are like, hey, you know what, we really have to live in a city. We just want to put our kids maybe in better schools, or maybe you're like, hey, we just want to live somewhere where we can get off work and just enjoy ourselves a little bit. Then Boise is going to be typically where a lot of people tend to flow towards, especially the younger people. They tend to love going to Boise because they have downtowns, they have bars, they have all these different things that they can do because they have so much energy. Whereas a lot of other people are like, hey, you know what, man, I just really enjoy the slower life and would like to live there. So for those of you that are chasing a much more active lifestyle and a much more social lifestyle, Boise is going to be hands down the best bet for you. So what are the pros and cons of living in Boise? Well, the biggest con for most people is going to be the commute, right? Now, the good news is the base does offer a commuter van, which is one of the only bases that actually offer this, which will actually escort you from an area, a common area where multiple people will meet, hop in a commuter van, take you to work, then pick you up from work and take you back to the common area after you end your workday. So for a lot of people, this makes a lot of sense. It's just something that they are like, hey, you know what? I got to get some sleep on the way there to work, and then I get some sleep on the way back to work. I also don't have to drive. There's just a lot of different things that people tend to think about as far as how they could use this commute in their benefit rather than against them. Now, another benefit of this far drive is if it's a hard snow day or a hard ice day, then well, the good news is you're probably gonna get told that you don't need to come to work because they'd rather not risk your life than make you come into work early or make you come to work on time or maybe a delayed drive to work day, whatever it is. Most people are a fan of that situation, of course. Then you have people that decide they want to live in Boise and absolutely hate it because they regret making the commute day in and day out if they don't get on the commuter van, or maybe even get on the commuter van and they're like, man, I'm just losing a lot of time with my family. So these are things that you should really consider before moving to Boise. Another thing to consider is Boise is a little bit more expensive than Mountain Home. Now, when I say a little bit, I should probably be a little more descriptive because I don't want you guys to think I'm misleading you. The median home price of Boise right now is $556,000, so that's significantly steeper than living in Mountain Home. Now, that's not to say you can't go find a home in the $400,000 price range or even the $300,000 price range. But it is to say that as far as housing, you're going to be a little more limited because it does get a little pricier in the city of Boise depending on location, which is also why some people, instead of living in Boise, decide to go a little bit further. They go a city over, which is either Meridian or Kuna. Now, personally, I'm a little biased because I absolutely love living in Meridian. I think Meridian is a beautiful spot. It's got so much growth coming to it. It's got Topgolf, it's got In-N-Out, it's got so many different things, but Boise does typically take the hearts of a lot of people due to this downtown, due to BSU, due to so many different things that it offers. So it really just depends on your current family situation, which is why I recommend hopping on a call and just really narrowing down what is the most important thing for you in your current situation. So as far as Boise housing, what I would love to do is show you guys some of the popular neighborhoods in the Boise area and let you guys take a look at what some of the homes look like. So let's check it out. So guys, like I said, it's very beautiful living in Boise. You have a lot of different options as far as housing goes. You just can pick from so many different things. And also making sure that it's the right move for you is the biggest thing as far as what it looks like for you PCSing to Mountain Home Air Force Base. Once again, guys, I do want to reiterate, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the Idaho area, and I would love to help you guys with your home buying needs as much as I love making these videos for you guys. And this is where you really can lean on me to help you guys make an educated decision on what's going to be the best option for you. Now, before we end this video, the one last thing I would like to ask you guys to do is do me a huge favor. Make sure you guys press the subscribe video, leave a like at the bottom of the video, and also make sure you guys press the notification bell at the top of the screen to get notified when we make more videos just like this. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See you on the next one.